Hello and welcome to Watch Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the lovely and perfect Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello, you sweet guy. How are you doing?
Doing just great. We're here today to talk about the grand finale of Southern Hospitality. Before we do that, we just a reminder to go get tickets for our live shows at watchforcrappens.com. This weekend, we're going to Cincinnati, Minneapolis, and Toronto, and we are going to recap in that order: Summer House, Southern Charm, I should say, and Real Housewives of New York, Season 8, Episode 9, December, Berkshires County, the Berkshires episode, the famous one. After that, we're going to Charlotte, Atlanta, D.C., Philadelphia, and then in April, we're going to go to Boston and Detroit and some other places. So go get your tickets at watchcrappens.com. Also, be sure to join us on Patreon. If you were watching The Traitors, we recapped the whole season on Patreon on our bonus episode. So that's patreon.com/watchforcrappens. And be sure to join if you are not signed up. Sign up by going directly on your web browser instead of going through the app, because Apple charges a surcharge through the app. And why should you have to pay that? It's ridiculous. So that is all the news. Ronnie, what did you think about this season finale?
The season
Southern Hosp.
What a bunch of messy people. I loved it.
Seriously.
Thought it was great. And I also love a good 10-episode season. I don't think they had more to sustain them for more than 10 episodes, and I'm glad. It was I love a 10-episode season.
Yeah. It was a tight, strong season. Every episode was great. Every episode was hilarious. They really are. This is a great show. It's a great show, and they are really bringing it, and they did great work with it. And it also had some really beautiful moments too, which was amazing. So let's dive into it. Guilty Until Proven Innocent is the name of the episode, and it's prom. It's law prom. They're doing a law prom, but they're making it a prom. So the lead up to basically what they're kind of. I think the vibe that they're going for is Carrie or something, because we keep seeing things that are like 1 week before prom, but it's like not fun and happy. It's like scary looking. I'm like, are the producers trying to make this seem like there's going to be a bloodbath? I couldn't quite tell.
But Emmy's playing the role of both Carrie and Carrie's mother at the same time. She's just like, okay, I'm going to need people for flowers. I'm going to need people for cake. I'm going to need people for decorations. I got my list done. It's going to be the best law prom ever. Nothing can go wrong.
And then it's like 3 days before prom. And so we're at a menswear store, and Joey and TJ are trying on suits. Like, this looks good. He's like, I think that Mia is wearing a leopard dress. He's like, oh, really? Do you have any leopard toxes? That's like so funny, Joe. Are you in love with me? So then we see Lake and Molly dressing.
He asked for a leopard suit. So.
He's like really gay. Like, don't even bother giving him a blowjob. That's reserved for the boys.
Then Lake and Molly are trying on dresses at another store, and they whoosh open the curtains at the same time, and they're in the same dress. And Lake's like, you copied me. Who wore it best? Am I right? So they keep trying on dresses. It's like wacky. They're trying on like wacky prom dresses and stuff. Scary music. And then 2 days before prom and Michael's house. And Preston is over with Michael's, and Michael's is like, oh, wait, I have a surprise for you. Look, there's 3 cakes. It says prom, yes, no. Are you going to go to prom with me?
That's a lot of cake to ask a simple question. That's like
especially for
cakes.
those two. Those two don't eat cake. I'm not buying it.
Will you go to prom with me? I had a moment, but you're going to have to just like trust me on this. I was looking at Michael's, and I was like, who does his face remind me of? His face reminds me of someone. And then I realized when Michael's is being very serious, which is often, he's very serious. I was like, what face does he have when he's being serious? I was like, oh my God, is Dorothy Zbornak. He has resting B. Arthur face, and I think like that's the greatest honor you could possibly ever bestow a gay man. I think
Like when B. Arthur gets, someone says something stupid and then she just stares right into the camera. Like,
yeah, that's exactly it. You'll see it next time you watch it. You'll see it.
so he's like, I was straight in high school and I took a girl I was dating to prom, and then she spent the night at my house and my mom like found out, and then I came back to my bedroom and there was like a box of condoms on there. Like, thanks. I love people like his mom, who are like, oh my God, being gay is a sin, but fucking a girl before marriage, here's some condoms. Do it in our house.
Yeah.
That's great. Love that.
Michael's mom. Like, what do you want at this point? Like,
hey, Michael's mom. If anybody knows
statue?
Michael's mom, carry a message to this woman for me. Fuck off, lady. All right?
Get it together. Okay, lady?
Hypocritical
really
asshole.
Get it together. Like Preston's trying to guess because he's blindfolded. He's trying to guess what's actually in front of him. And he's like, well, it sounds like you opened up your fridge and pulled out a Diet Pepsi. And he's like, no, it's not Diet Pepsi. He's like, okay, it's broccoli. Okay, you pulled out broccoli. I know it's broccoli. No, it's not broccoli either. Okay. Is it a tire? Did you bring in a tire from outside? Oh my God, Preston, you're so bad at this.
No, it's 3 cakes. And Preston's like, I wish you had spelled this out of broccoli, because that would have been like our dessert. Like, why would you do this?
And so then Michael smushes the cake into Preston's face, and it's really cute and happy and it's romantic. And it's like, da-da-da, one day before prom.
Yeah. And now the music becomes a beep. And Maddie's sitting on her balcony, and Joe Bradley shows up in a vintage Corvette, and he's, got the boombox, and he lifts up the boombox and starts playing the music. And then he switches into like Love Actually, which was actually kind of creepy. Which is fitting, I guess, for this. This scene was kind of creepy, where the best friend shows up and just writes stuff on cards and shows the girl.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But he had a lot. Well, first of all, he wrote his on paper instead of posters. So everything was flopping around. And he had so many pieces of paper. He's like, hey, I was wondering, drop the paper. If maybe you'd be interested in, drop the paper. Maybe there's going to be this prom, drop the paper. So here's the thing. I really want to go to prom, drop the paper with you. It's like, Joe, hurry up. Go to the last piece of paper. This is taking too long. Prom.
Money can't buy you class. I don't regret fucking you in that hotel. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a different one. It was a different one. But yeah, he really makes it long. He makes a whole monologue on 20 pages of paper. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty much littering your neighborhood right now. So.
Joe, why did you write down Nana's chicken parm recipe? Oh, I just thought maybe you get hungry in the middle of this.
So it's basically, will you go to the prom with me? And she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's the most romantic thing that anybody has ever done for me. That's crazy. And he's like, yeah, I've been in love with Maddie for years, and that feels like a really long time to me. But, I wanted to move in with her, but she's not ready. So, I need to always listen to my mom and stop putting Maddie away.
Flashback to the day before, his mom is like, yeah, honey, you have to stop being so aggressive with Maddie. Okay, just give her some space. And for the last time, when I give you Nanny's chicken parm recipe, write it down. I'm sick of having to answer this phone call every week.
So then back to outside, she's like, oh my God, are you still doing signs, Joe? He's like, I am.
It really is.
Is that just a drawing of the eggplant emoji? I ran out of things, but I wanted to keep it romantic, so.
So he's like, by the way, wait, I've got one more. It says, we can call it a prom-com, LOL. Yes, a prom-com. I'll go to prom with you, Joe. Absolutely. By the way, so it's I don't know if, I just want to clarify, you get that prom-com is a play on rom-com, right? Yes, Joe, come on.
Because I was really trying to do multiple rom-coms right now, not just one, but there were multiple ones. And she's like, I got it, Joe. I got it. So I write them down for you. I still have some paper left. No, Joe. Let's just take a ride in the car.
This is the most romantic thing that anyone has ever done for me. It's such a relief that he understands how important it is to take my time in this relationship that I don't want to be in. And I do want the same things he wants, except I want them with a different person at a different time in my life. And that's all.
Yeah. So now they speed off and they're like so happy. So then we go to my favorite place, the Republic back room, and everyone's getting ready for their shift. And guess who I don't see? Cloris Leachman. Hello. It's the season finale. Where's Siobhan? Where's Cloris Leachman?
I know. We did see Cloris Leachman at the very, very end. Did you catch her?
Mm-mm.
She was wearing a bright green dress. So like she stood out in the group and she was like clapping and was like really happy. During the prom king and prom queen moment, she was like, oh yeah, that's good. I remember when Frankie Avalon was prom king. That was the time. That was a good time. We banged in his car back outside.
It's like, I haven't been this set since Tootie taught Natalie how to roller skate.
So,
say, girls,
Joe,
this is a candy shop.
So Joe's like, hey, Molly, are you going to cover my pimples off? She's like, yeah, come here, Joe. So they go and he covers, she does his makeup and Michael's like, hey, did you guys take the sheet to make copies? Wait, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening back here? And he's like, nothing. We're just like pre-booking. That's it. Yeah. He's like, whatever, guys.
So people are working on the VIP sign, and Maddie's excited for prom. And Emmy's like, I want it to be pretty. I want it to be colorful. I want it to be a prom, but like law prom. Except I'll be there. It's going to be so romantic. Everything's going to go great. Am I right? And she's like, this summer's been awful. Like, I finally got rid of this fake cheating rumor and like proving Will innocent. And like, I expect everyone to got all of their bad behavior out. Like, it's just going to be totally fine. Only with sushi. It's going to be the perfect sushi night.
Did she? Wait, when she says, I finally have gotten rid of this fake cheating rumor, did she?
No.
When did you get rid of it? You
absolutely did not. You did not get rid of a rumor. You just cried about it.
I think maybe she thought like the explanation that Will was being bullied at law school is like the thing that like deaded the rumor. But I don't think anyone believed that.
Yeah. No.
So
you proved nothing, ma'am.
So now, like, it's like, okay, yay, like, it's Republic. People are in Republic. Fun times. And TJ is like, hey, Brad, something just clicked in my head. Emmy is planning this prom because she didn't get to go with Will because she was skiing, right? Is that the same weekend that this cheating supposedly happened? And Brad's like, I don't know. Like, that was the night that whatever went down with Will's cheating supposedly went down. I'm concerned.
I'm very, very concerned. I'm sure Brad's very concerned. So Brad's like, yeah, when we were in Vegas, Will told us he was apparently getting bullied by Austin's girlfriend's brother, but we come to find out he's lying. And if you didn't do anything wrong, then why are you lying? Because Emmy's like a little sister to me, guys. So, Emmy has every right to know. Every right to know. So Brad's like, yeah, I have friends at Will's law school, so I'm going to keep doing some digging. And TJ's like, if you need help.
What law school is this again? How does everyone know so many people in this law school? It's like this nebulous place, this distant law school that I'm not even sure is even in South Carolina, but they all seem to know people there. And there's people from this law school here in Charleston. It's like this weird concept that's lingering around this show. So TJ's like, if this rumor is nothing, then it's nothing, but I will find out the truth. Like, okay, DJ.
Yeah, I will find out. So now, 20 South Battery, the prom venue. Dun, 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 dun. 5 hours until prom. So Will and Emmy are there and they're starting to get ready and stuff. And Will's like, yeah, I was never really a big prom guy, but, I just want Emmy to be happy and smile a lot.
What does Will like? He doesn't like hot dogs. He doesn't like proms. Does he have joy in his life anymore? He hates every single thing. Everything is a complaint from him. It's hard to believe this is the same guy who we saw the past 2 seasons who was like partying and like the bartender and like always up for good times. And now he's like, I hate proms. I hate hot dogs. I hate standing up,
Yeah. That's our boy. He's a miserable man.
Yeah. He has no joy. So Will's like, I'm going to change out of my work tie and into a dress tie.
I've been working. It's really hard. Like, I haven't even eaten today. It's like so hard. I have a job. Lawyering.
My work tie has a little highlighter attached to it, but my dance tie, no highlighter.
So then Molly is fixing Lake's eyeshadow and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, slay, we're going to prom. So Molly's like, yeah, out of 8 proms I've been to, my favorite memory was my junior year. My date bought me Nike shoes when he asked me and said, just do it. Go to prom with me.
again, I think there's value in just going up to someone and say, do you want to go to prom? So then now Lake is saying, I just like to shake ass and eat good food. And Ma's like, that was poetry. So now we go to Maddie's house, and Maddie, Joe, and it's Maddie, Joe, and Maddie's housemates, Fran and Eva, which I forgot about Fran. I think we met Fran last season. I just love that there's someone named Fran on this show. So Eva, in case you guys don't remember, Eva was dating O'Sheen until that whole Grace Lilly situation happened.
Well, they had a situationship, which means they weren't dating. They were boning. And then Grace Lilly boned him at the same time. Dun, dun, dun.
I still am shocked that an OnlyFans model cheated on the person he was in a situationship with. It's wild.
The milkman cheated? And how does he have so many people willing to have sex with him when he's always covered in milk smell? You know?
I know. Seriously.
So Maddie's like, well, Joe joked this morning that Grace Lilly was going to be getting ready with us here. Isn't that hilarious? But, I'd like to see you and Grace have a conversation, Eva. And she's like, well, she wants to talk about it to everybody but me. So...
Yeah, but she said she's going to. And she's like,
well, she lies, though. She's a liar, though.
Huh, I wish I had friends who every time I fucked up were like, no, it's okay. And Eva's like, yeah, same.
I mean,
guys.
You all do. You're on this show and you're still friends.
Yeah.
So then TJ, Brad, and Mia are getting ready together. And Brad's like, wow, it turns out one of our VIP server knows what's going on. Just a few hours ago. Just coincidentally, one of our servers, Ella, who is mic'd up and ready for camera time, told me there's this girl on the law school campus that Will is seen with all the time, and everyone there believes it's Will's girlfriend. Notice how Brad has all these girls just willing to come on camera when he needs them to give advice. Fucking shady Brad.
So TJ is like, when we were in New York, I disregarded it at the time because there was like just so much going on with that skank Luann de Lesseps sleeping with my best friend. But Will told me that there's a girl that might have gotten the wrong impression, and she might like him. And Brad's like, so I'm trying to figure out who is this girl, right? And I got a text from a friend saying apparently she moved in with him short term. And Mia's like, what? It's like, yeah, they were full on living together.
And Mia's like, well, if Troy had a female friend crashing with him, oh, wow, we would only be thinking of him now in memory, okay? In memory. Fuck this. This is ridiculous. I mean, maybe give Will the benefit of the doubt and say, like, what was going through your head when you would allow a woman to stay in your apartment? So they're ready. And TJ's like, I'm worried about Emmy, which is why I'm going to give her another nervous breakdown on TV. Brad's like, yeah. Just defending your man blindly. Just find out what everything said was true.
So now I was like, dun, 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 prom night. So we're here at the 20th South Battery. Now, a lot of these Charleston homes look the same and these venues look the same, but I feel like we've had so many scenes on Southern Charm at this place. How many fights have happened with those wrought iron gates and those stone pillars? I don't know. Is that just because all the houses have those elements? But like, it's not a season finale on one of these shows unless there's gates and pillars.
Yeah,
that's
some
like the
weird
backdrop
mansion with antiques that nobody can sit on. Exactly. So Will and Emmy are just walking around the mansion, pretending to be classy. And then Will's like, yeah, I bet everybody else is like pre-gaming already, right? And then we cut to the bus where they're like, yeah, like twerking. And then back to Will and Emmy being boring. It's just like classical music playing. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial. And Will's like, I need to work on my laptop right now because I'm a lawyer, so.
Yeah, and Emmy's just like, yeah, okay, cool. So Will and Emmy they eventually go to the ballroom, and Will's like, this is like way cooler than my prom. I mean, I didn't even like my prom, and I don't like this either. I'm bored. Can I go? So Emmy's like, look, this is going to be like amazing. Look, like we can dance. It could be like Beauty and the Beast. So Will's like, okay, cool. So then outside, everyone like comes out of the party bus. They're all drunk and they're all having fun. Like, woo! And Maddie's like, I feel like I'm walking into a wedding night right now. Joe, And Joe's like, yeah, we're already married, remember? Remember?
So it's just wedding stuff. Everybody's like, party, taking selfies, going to the bar. Oh my God. And so Michael's and his boyfriend Preston have a conversation. He's like, the other day you referenced the fact that we're exclusive. So I just want to kind of see where your head's at with that. Because, I was laying in bed with Preston and he mentioned that he deleted all of his dating apps, hinting at the fact that he's only getting blowjobs in public parks now without seeing anybody online first. That's like huge.
It was like a very big pinch me kind of moment. So Preston's like, yeah, I'm definitely all yours, and I'd like you to be all mine, but I'm also aware that there's an age gap. And it says that, like, Preston's 26 and Michael's is 22. And Preston's like,
Preston is not 26. I'm sorry. That is not a 26-year-old face. And I'm not even age shaming because I'm still like almost double his age, even if that is his real age. But no, there's not enough sun damage in the world to do that to a 26-year-old. Did you grow up in a microwave? No, sir.
Listen, good for Preston. He's like, this is the hottest guy I've ever dated. I'm going to lock him down. So Michael's is like, I just want, for me, I want you to know that these are things that, like, I don't want you to have to worry about because, like, all those experiences, I want to have them with you. In fact, I got 6 cakes that say, will you be my boyfriend, please? So enjoy.
So then everyone's on the dance floor, like, partying, and Will and Emmy are just sitting alone, looking like bored. And Will's like, I'm exhausted, dude. I'm a lawyer.
So then Austin shows up alone. He looks sad. He puts a corsage to the side because he's alone. And he's like, well, Hallie isn't coming. And Michael's like, wait, hold on. Let's talk over here. Okay, do you want to present this to me in cake form? He's like, no. Well, Will's been on the phone today. He straight up called Allie's brother this morning, and he's convinced that's where I heard the rumors that I brought up in Vegas. But no, I heard the rumors from Allie's schmother, not her brother. I'm like, we know you heard it from the brother because the producers asked you earlier in the season, are you trying to cover up to protect Allie? And he was like,
yeah. Well, he heard it from Allie, and Allie heard it from the brother, I guess. So he's like, Allie is like absolutely devastated. Her brother didn't even know we're seeing each other again because, like, I mean, Will might have just ruined my relationship because he's in a secret relationship because the family hates him because he's a lying damn cheater. That's why.
Yeah.
So Will just basically outed him.
It's just so glossed over that, like, he and Allie clearly had some horrific breakup a year ago where he lied and said vicious, terrible things. And so no one, like, I just love that's just like a side thing. I'm like, are we not noticing, like, Austin has some darkness swirling around him?
Yeah, and he's like, it's all Will's fault that she's not coming. Oh, okay. So he's like, Michaels is like, kudos to Will for going to the source because I would do the same. But, like, why wait till prom to have this conversation? I mean, the timing's weird as fuck. It's like weird as fuck.
It is true. It is true. Like, why the night before do you wait to, like, do this? So, now Brad goes up to Austin and Michaels, and Brad's like, so Allie is not coming? And Austin's like, no. Remember how at Run Club the other day we thought Will was convinced that the bullying and the rumors were from Allie's brother? Well, he literally intimidated her into not coming. They're like, whoa.
So now everybody else is dancing. We see party shots and stuff like that. And then we hear, and it's Grace Lilly coming up with a bunch of guys. And one of them is O'Sheen. So she comes in and everyone's like, oh my God, Grace Lilly's here with O'Sheen.
And then Eva sees it and she's like, and Maddie's like, oh my God, I think Grace Lilly is here. And so then everyone's just like shocked, because this is such a messy, messy turn. So Mia's like, somebody let O'Sheen and Grace Lilly in this motherfucking party. Golly, motherfucking Lee.
So Grace Lilly's like, well, O'Sheen and I have been friends forever. So whether or not you like him, like, we know how to have a good time. That's what we do.
He's like, oh yeah, the milk is thicker than ever, brother. So Austin's like, ugh. So Maggie goes, oh my God, why? I ride for Grace, but she makes me look so stupid when she does shit like this. And then Molly's like, the audacity to show up with O'Sheen shows that Grace gives zero fucks about her friendship with Eva, who I suddenly care a lot about because I just met her. And it also kind of shows that she doesn't respect or give a shit about Maddie.
And Maddie's like, you are so fucking messy, Ocean. Like, I can't with you. And he's like, my darling sis, you knew what you were getting into when you became friends with me, babe. You knew what you were getting into.
So, meanwhile, everyone out is on the porch, and Mia goes up to Emmy and Will and is like, you guys look like you're having the worst time ever. And because like they're just sitting there to the side looking sad, which is also kind of like fucked up because Emmy planned this whole party, and this party was for Will, and Will is being such a downer this entire time. So, and Emmy's the sort of girlfriend where she's like, well, if he's being a downer, I have to be a downer too. So they're just sitting there miserable at their own party.
I'm a lawyer's wife. And Emmy does that thing. Well, I thought Emmy was going to be like, well, everyone's like, no one's apologized to us. Like, and it's so awkward with everybody. But she goes, yeah, because my dad told me it was going to be catered with sushi, but it wasn't. And now I have to eat crab cake. And Will goes, yeah, I don't like crab cake. Lawyers don't eat that.
She probably loves crab cakes, but Will doesn't like crab cakes, of course. So then she has to not like crab cakes.
So ridiculous. So then Brad and Austin are talking about Will, Austin's tattletaling to Brad about it. And then TJ goes right up to Maddie and Molly, and he's like, I just want you to know that I had it confirmed that Will cheated with a girl from law school and orchestrated the affair to take place specifically while he was on a ski trip. Right? And the timing has to be with Will being able to take this girl to real law prom, and he allegedly had the girl move in with him for a few weeks while Emmy was away. That's right. Hold on. Let my eyes drift left to right really quick.
I literally cannot take TJ seriously in this entire scene because he is dressed like Jude Law in AI. Like, he literally looks like that, like, gigolo robot. His face is like buffed and polished, and his hair looks like it's it looks like it's like just plastic, and he has the same kind of disco shirt on, and I'm like, I just can't stop thinking about Jude Law.
And Maddie's like, no, not law prom. And he's like, yeah, law prom. Did you hear me? And then he's shit talking Emmy around town. And that was just to get Emmy to catch wind of his drunken behavior and ultimately break up with him so he wouldn't have to break up with her. Got it? Does everybody understand? Because he allegedly felt guilty about cheating, so he tried to self-sabotage a relationship. Case dismissed. Hot dog. Hot dog. Am I right?
The producer's like, yeah, this is all well and good, but Emmy's made it clear that she wants people to leave her and her relationship alone. So why are you getting yourself involved? I mean, thank you, but why? And he's like, well, it's like one of those things like where like if it's like in a long-term situation, see, the thing is, I mean, when you put a hot dog in a bun, well, I guess I want someone to do the same for me. I want someone to do the same for me. I like that one. We'll go with that one. I want someone to do the same for me.
They're just like, you're just fucking messy, dude. And he's just like, hot dogs. So then Maddie's like, I mean, the fucked up thing is, like, now we're here for this imitation law prom, air quotes. And here's Emmy overcompensating for her own version, which he took another girl to his own law prom. And I heard at that law prom, they ate sushi.
The sushi was delivered. I mean, I love this show that they're doing a fake law prom, and there's nothing legal about it. Like, it's just like a prom, but it's also a law prom to compensate for the fact that Will went to law prom with someone else and Emmy didn't get to go to that law. I mean, it like literally makes no sense, but they're like just all going with it. So now we have O'Sheen. Everyone's dancing, and Grace is like, woo! And then Will's sat on the porch eating a crab cake and being miserable about it. And then Molly sits down next to O'Sheen on the couch. And then Grace Lily comes over and she's like, hey, you look great, by the way. And Molly's like, I know. And Grace Lily's like, huh? You're supposed to say, thanks, doll.
And Molly's just looking at her. She's like, I'm on TV, and this is how we look at each other on TV. And so Grace
really
is like, can I talk to you private? Come on over here private, like, okay? I literally just complimented you, honey. I was literally being sincere, and you just said, I know. And Molly's like, and this is how you flick your hair on TV.
Molly is like, you know what? I feel like Molly is getting kind of overshadowed this season because Molly's come out guns blazing and she's hitting all her beats just right. And I just want to give a little appreciation for Molly. I think she's been a wonderful addition. So Grace is like, that was condescending and rude. And honestly, you should work on your character because I know Jesus and Bob Marley personally, and you don't want to get on the wrong side of us three.
And Molly's like, you are such a psychopath. So then O'Sheen just looks like, oh yeah. He's like, every time I arrive, there's a fucking problem, eh? Yeah, nailed it. So then Grace Lily is still sitting there with Molly, and Molly's still giving her the soap opera dirty look. So Grace Lily just starts like genieing her hands. I don't even know what you call it, but she starts like doing this like weird hand dance in front of her. She's like, yeah.
And there's like sparkle. They put on sparkles.
Yeah, they add sparkles to it. It's like, yeah. And Molly's like, what is that? What the fuck is that? She goes, I'm trying to get your energy away from me because that shit is toxic.
The show is so great. So, like, I dare people to watch the show and not crack up. So now Lake and O'Sheen are sitting on one end of the sofa, and Joe and Maddie are kissing on another end, and lots of stuff is just going on all over the party. And O'Sheen is like being very flirtatious with Lake. He's like, so what's in that box of tricks you got in there? Do you want to see my box of tricks? Do you like dairy? And she's like, nothing fancy. He's like, oh, I like that purse though. Thanks. Ha! And she's like, God, I really like that accent. I love that. I love he has like a Jon Snow accent. And she says like, she's basically like, if he had Austin, if Austin had O'Sheen's accent and Joe's hair, that would be like the hottest guy ever.
Austin's
like, well,
body.
yeah, if you took all those things from all sorts of different guys, you could make the hottest guy ever.
Yeah. So then Grace is like, well, she's still with Molly. She's like, I literally told Eva that night that there was a possibility I'd be fucking O'Sheen. And she's like, oh my God, Maddie, come here. She's doubling down. And Maddie's like, Grace, you told me last week at Republic you knew it was wrong and you wanted a chance to apologize.
And then in walk Eva and Fran. Hi, I'm Fran. I'm just here for moral support. What are you guys talking about?
It's that wacky Fran and Eva. They're like,
So Eva is like, well, Grace Lily never warned me about wanting to hook up with O'Sheen. Fran can attest to that, can't you, Fran? Yeah, I can attest to it. Listen, I got this bitch's back. I'm Fran, best friend.
And O'Sheen's like, girls, please. And she's like, get over him. He doesn't fucking like you, Eva. And Eva's like, he doesn't like you. She goes, yeah. And Maddie goes, he doesn't like any of you all. He's a whore.
And Fran's going, liar, liar, liar. I'm like, go get him, Fran. You do it, Fran. Good for you.
And Grace Lily goes, yeah, well, Maddie, you sucked his dick in Tulum.
And Joe's like, oh my God, I don't want to hear a lot. So Grace
died
is
when
like,
she did that. And Maddie's like, oh no, what?
Yeah, you're not a friend. Okay, you burned that bridge.
So now outside.
Oh, I guess I'm not a friend.
Michaels is confronting Will about all the goss about this girl, and now he texted the brother and ruined things for Austin. And so Will's like, what? I just sent one text. And Michaels is like, well, because of that, Austin's girlfriend isn't here. And he's like, why is anyone giving it light? Like, I mean, it's like so attenuated.
I don't even want to give it a breath of air. I hate air, by the way. So then this is so funny.
That doesn't even make sense. What is he talking about? He's like the chef of this show.
When he says attenuated, it cuts to Michaels and it goes, tss. It's like almost like someone like, it's like when a cat gets up on a counter and you squirt it with a water gun and the cat's like, so attenuated hits Michaels like, oh, I don't even know what that word means. And they're like, do you know what attenuated means? He's like, I have not heard that word before. Hey, Siri, what does attenuated mean? Siri's like, it is a word that should not be used on Southern hospitality. Thanks, that's what I thought.
You're not the only one on this cast who doesn't know this word, including the one who just spoke it. So then we go back to the porch, and Austin's like, Will is the one I need to talk to. So Mia's like, oh my God, this is like a tiny balcony. Get over here and just talk to him. So she pulls him over. And she's like, okay, you're two grown men. You need a mommy to put them together. So listen, tell them what you know. If you know anything, if you know nothing, say nothing. Now I've connected you. Go ahead. I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. I'm the audience. Go ahead.
So then, of course, Emmy is like, okay, I want to be part of this because, you know, Will's like, let's go talk privately. And Emmy's like, I want to be part of this. I would like to listen. They're like, no, just the two of them. She goes, no, I should be able to listen in. So
and
then they
TJ's
go over
head
to
just appears. He's like, someone say hot dogs?
Yeah, TJ appears out of nowhere and just like leans in on the railing. Like, just be cool. Like, just pretend I'm not even here. I'm totally not going to use this gossip against you guys. Come on.
The hot dog cart lid pops open and he just pops out. He's like,
And then all of a sudden Brad appears, and then all of a sudden Joe appears. It's like in The Simpsons whenever there's like a ruckus in the street and all the little characters appear in the background.
All the towns there. So Emmy's like, I'm not doing this in front of everybody. It's crazy. Like, I just had to eat part of a crab cake. You know?
I hate crab cakes now on behalf of Will. I had a sympathy crab cake.
So now they try to leave, but then everybody follows them out onto the sidewalk. And here we are, the greatest set piece outside Imagine.
But also, by the way, I think what's also funny is that they pulled this whole thing of like, well, we're not going to have this conversation in front of everyone. Like, why does it always have to be in a group setting? Like, why is it that if we were going to talk privately, Emmy's like, why does it have to be like this? We're just trying to talk privately. It's like, Emmy, you were the first one who barged in on the conversation. You're not part of this conversation either.
Yeah, because she's got to be there to stand up for Will. Because she's Will's woman, okay? It's different, man.
Yeah. So Joe's like, I hope to God it's not true, but like we wouldn't even know because every time someone brings up the rumors, you sprint away. And TJ's like, yeah. We can't even understand what he's saying. TJ's just so activated. He's just like
TJ's like frothing at the mouth. He's like, I will yell at somebody. This is the season finale. You're not taking this away from me. So Will's like, TJ always needs someone to hate. Like, it's become clear to me that this tunnel vision of hatred is now attenuated towards me.
And we see a montage, to be fair, a montage of TJ basically scolding people from like we see him sniping with Joe, Mikkel, Grace Lily, and Will, which true. I think it's like it is true. But then again, everyone has yelled at everyone, and you could probably make a montage of everyone snapping at everyone. No,
TJ is the worst about taking shit that's none of his business and doesn't affect him at all, and then screaming at you about it. It's like he's always been like that.
Is he the worst, or is he the best at doing it?
I mean, it's fun to watch, but he's definitely the worst about it. And he's like, well, we know that, he's like all mad and like waving his finger around. And he's like, we know who the other girl is. And you took her to the prom and stayed in your apartment. And Will's like, I did not take her to prom. And then he's like, wait, that girl? I know who that is. That's the girl we're talking about. Have you guys seen this girl? Yeah. And so Will and Emmy are like trying to explain, like, that's just a classmate. Emmy knew she was there the whole time. She's like, and then Emmy tells us, like, I'm not threatened by this particular friend. And I feel so bad for the friend who's sitting at home. Like, is she covered in warts on her face? Like, what's wrong with this girl?
They're like, it was Fran. It was Fran all along. So
this girl's just like, okay, no one would cheat with me. Thanks, guys.
Basically, Will said that he went to New York for Watch What Happens Live, and she was moving, and so he let her crash at his place for 2 days, and said, like, you have to leave though by the time I get back. But by the way, Mia, at some point in this, Mia was like, I know Will, and Will is the most unfriendly person, and he would never let anyone stay at his house. That was her piece of evidence. So. Yeah. TJ's like, when are you going to realize that he's a fucking piece of shit that's going to fuck you over? She's like, I am not, everyone is miserable, TJ. And he's like, no, except for you fucking guys. And he's just like, runs off, and he goes off to Maddie. And he's like, he is way too emotionally invested in all this shit. But obviously it's like hitting his damage. There's something about, I think when he sees people who are not being truthful, it sets him off, and he goes to a dark place that he doesn't need to go to.
No, I think he just likes some drama, and it's the season finale, and he's like, oh, I'm going to yell it. Because then he runs right in and he goes, I just screamed at them. I just screamed at them. He's like trying to get like attention from the popular girl. And Maddie's like, oh my God, TJ, someone get this man of water. Look at TJ. My God, his bowling ball face is about to explode. Please, someone help TJ.
So then Emmy at this point is like, her hands are doing the big like flappy thing. And she's like, everyone is always has something to say behind my back, but like never to me. It's like she's dribbling a very tall basketball. And so Mia's like, because whenever we try to come for you, you always storm away. She's like, well, maybe because it's done at a party where everyone's watching and there is no sushi.
So they leave. Will and Emmy are like, let's go, baby. So they leave. And then everybody agrees that Will is guilty in a court of law, Prom, of cheating. And they think that Emmy's a victim. So, whatever. They're not mad at her, but fuck Will. And Mia's like, yeah, unless she sees a video of him sticking his dick in somebody else, she's going to stay forever. She would stay even with that. She would stay even with that.
Yeah, I think she would.
She'd be like, boys will be boys. You know what? It's hard being a lawyer.
Yeah, that could have been just a doctored video. Like, Will told me he was seen on video doing this, and like I knew about it. It's fine. I already yelled at him. At least there was sushi on his at his set. So, so yeah, so they go off into the night. They never have to answer to anything.
Yeah.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
And then La Prom Queen and King are announced, and it's the couple of the year, Joe and Maddie. So they have romantic endings, and Joe's like, we're going to have ups and downs, but the fact that we know how to cope with those ups and downs and that we see a future together, that is perfect. And Maddie's like, yeah, it's going to be great.
And Cloris Leachman's in the background in her green dress clapping. Like, what a great moment. What a special time for us all.
So we think it's over, and then we get the film rewinds, and it's 10 days ago at Republic, and we hear Will. We don't see him, but we hear Will, and they're like in the kitchen or whatever, and he's talking to the producers, and he's like, I don't know when would be the appropriate time for this, but I have information that would be like an atom bomb. Dun, dun, dun. And we screenshotted all of our group texts. So there would be like some redemption in it for me and her. But like, I don't think we've seen Maddie activated this season. So like, why don't we turn it on Maddie? Like, did they just show Will trying to be messy with the producers?
Yeah. So then we go into the reunion, which is a Watch What Happens Live reunion. It's a Clubhouse. I feel like next season they deserve to have a proper reunion with like sofas and everything. But so Andy Cohen's got everyone there. Everyone is there. And the big thing that comes out at this reunion, because Maddie is like, she's rattled. Okay. Like, because Andy's like, it takes 10 minutes for him to say hello to the entire cast, but he's like, hi, Joe. Hey, Andy. Hi, TJ. Hi, Andy. Hi, Maddie. She's like, hi, Andy. We're like, okay, what happened to Maddie Reese? She looks shell shocked right now.
Well, she says she's under the weather, but we find out what happened last night. Will dropped the bomb. Will, you're so bad at this. You do this shit at the reunion. You don't do it the day before and give everybody like a heads up. What's wrong with him? He did the same thing with the brother. He should have had the brother show up at the prom and say, that's not true or whatever. And now he's doing it again where he's just blowing his wad before they shoot. So Will has decided not to show up. He pusses out of the whole thing.
What a wuss. What it was, you know what? Here's the thing: is that last season, Maddie was in the hot seat with Trevor, which is obviously going to be relevant in this reunion. But Will was a crusader against that situation. He and Emmy were were like very vocal about it. They went to Miami, and Maddie left in the middle of dinner to go off with Trevor or whatever. And he's like, why doesn't Trevor show up? I mean, I seem to remember him saying these things, but he was grilling Maddie. He was aggressive about it, as were everyone else. But the point is that like he wanted Maddie to show accountability. It became a whole thing. And now this season, when he has to face the fire, not only does he not show up at the reunion to like at least answer things and dispel rumors, he sits there backstage while Emmy has to take all the heat for him. It is so shitty. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, he really is. But, you know, stupid Emmy is just like he just couldn't do it. It's like for his mental health. It's like super important when you're a lawyer to have mental health, guys. So
you need to have like a really mentally sharp and unattenuated mind to hold that highlighter above your ear. Okay, so it's for him. It's for his legal career.
So we start right off with it. So basically, Maddie starts crying. She's like, I just found out the news last night. Just last night, guys. I just found out last night.
Just last night, Joe. I don't know what's real or fake.
We find out that Will came to her and told her, she showed her all the group texts, which proved that all the stuff about Trevor cheating with that girl last year was a lie. And basically, they all went with it anyway, just to throw Maddie under the bus and have her break up with Trevor, which is just so shitty. And Brad's excuse is like, well, I mean, I didn't like her then. And so, you know, basically this girl, I was training this girl. She told me about this and that. She said that she made out with him, but then she admitted, once she saw it getting out of control, she admitted that it was a lie. But by then it was just too late for me to say anything. And I didn't like Maddie anyway. And then they just let him off as if the entire part of the last episode wasn't Brad doing this again.
Yeah.
This exact same thing again.
Exactly. I mean, I mean, it's funny because my memory of season 2 was that it was never really clear whether Sammy hooked up with Trevor. I mean, we all kind of believed it because Trevor still is a piece of shit, regardless of whether he hooked up with this guy or not. Like he was garbage, and Maddie does say that, but Brad says that like he basically is like, yeah. At first she had lied to me and said they hooked up, but then she said they hadn't hooked up. At that point, I was already so deep into it, so we just went along with it, which is it is sucky because it does also. It means that his case against Will is much weaker, like you just said about like what he heard about law school. Like he's clearly a proven liar. But really, the first part is like Maddie being like, my reality is like destroyed. Like I don't know what's real and I don't know what's fake anymore. Like, okay, settle down. And still, this is just about Sammy and Trevor, so it's not that deep.
But it is, because her whole thing with Trevor was, you've cheated on me. I don't want to be with you again. And he's like, I changed. No, I promise you I've changed. So she gets back together with him. He's accused of cheating again. And she's like, I can't because you're accused of cheating again. And this is obviously you're lying. But she stayed with him. What?
She stayed with him after that. The thing is that
she ended up breaking up with him after all the stress of it and stuff because it caused all the stress in their relationship. But he didn't cheat on her, so maybe he had changed. So, I mean, I don't think that you do when you're a Trevor. I don't think that he did change, but that's not the point. It's not like whether I think he could change. But in this girl's mind, she's like, I broke up with like the love of my life because of you guys, and they were all in on it. Everybody knew in the group text. And Joe's like, I didn't know anything. Bullshit. Joe knew too, but Joe is lying because he wants to keep Maddie. So she's like, okay, you guys had me break up with the love of my life, and now I'm settling for like a friend because I'm so traumatized when I should have been with that guy this whole fucking time. And now I'm living out my dreams. I could be with that guy, but instead I'm with this friend because you guys have forced me into this fucking situation. So
right. Well, and we can see that this has also changed people's perceptions of Will, because at one point Andy asks who here thinks that like the rumors are true about Will, and actually not as many people raised their hands, whereas I think at the end of the season they all believed it. So Will has like, that's definitely like the needle has moved more towards Will. But I think the thing is that like it's like whether Will cheated or not, it's never been totally clear. But what has been clear is that he has been a shitty boyfriend to Emmy, and he talks shit about her, and he let her take the brunt of like all these accusations, and he would always hide away instead of like facing them. And that none of this takes away from the fact that he's really shitty for doing that. And he should have appeared on this reunion stage and said, look, I just got this information, and this proves that you are all unreliable narrators, and you're all more interested, even though I was part of it too, in weaving a tale that's good for TV, and you don't care who gets hurt in the process. And this year it's me who's getting hurt in the process, and everything you guys say should be taken with a grain of salt because you're obviously liars and you're proven liars. He was the one who introduced the evidence, but then he didn't show up for his own court case.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Yeah, it's nothing standing up for Will, but it's obvious that TJ and Brad in specific are in particular are liars. They've done it 2 seasons in a row, and that's just not good. And the whole cast was on board with it. It's just so gross. And I don't blame Maddie for being pissed, but they still keep turning it on Will being a bad boyfriend, which he is, but you guys are terrible fucking friends. I mean, you are all terrible. And it also goes to show you like the level of self-producing that goes even to like a season 2 of this show, that they're like, no, they all get on the group text like a bunch of housewives, like, here's how we're going to bring this bitch down,
Yeah. It was funny how Brad was like, well, I am going to do something that Will was not able to do, which is I'm going to be accountable. And this is what I did. He sort of like, he presents it like this is actually evidence of him having good character. Is that
he's such a good person.
Of him being so shitty.
You're not accountable when you're already in jail. You know what I mean? It's like a jailhouse confession. Like you were already caught, buddy. Okay. It's not just you coming forward and being accountable. You were busted. So yeah, Maddie doesn't really seem to be mad at all of them, but she does seem to be shell shocked, and Joe, I don't believe Joe for 1 second.
Maddie is so shell shocked. The poor thing. She looks like she looks like she saw a ghost. She just looks out of sorts for this entire reunion, and she's like, oh, like traumatized for the whole hour.
Yeah, this
and then
cool.
And then Emmy is also. I mean, she's crying, and at one point she's like, ah! And Lake is like, oh god. They just start laughing, and And Emmy is like, no, Lake, be quiet. You don't understand. Like, Emmy is going through it. And Leva is like,
I don't
hey,
feel for Emmy either, because she was in on this. Like, you can't spend an entire season lying about somebody else and then cry when it happens to you the next season. And by the way, it didn't even come from Maddie, who deserved to get revenge on your ass. It came from the same people that you were butting up to take her down. So fuck off. You're all terrible.
And Leva's like, you don't have to take on, you're taking on too much of Will's bullshit. And she's like, but I don't like crab cakes anymore. I was like, okay. There was also a big portion of the reunion that was dedicated. It was actually like really fascinating and interesting. A lot of discussion about like gay stuff. And it was interesting because you have Michaels and you have TJ and then you have Andy, and you have Michaels, who's relatively new on his journey, and you have TJ, who's been through like 10 years or so of it and has been like traumatized by queer baiting. And you have Andy, who's kind of like mother henning them. And it was actually there were touching moments, but there was a moment where there was a clash with Joe and TJ, because they started to rehash the whole thing of like TJ, why would you go around telling everyone that Joe's gay? You told everyone that Joe's gay. And they're really coming down hard on TJ, and they're like, TJ is like trying to keep it together. And at one moment, the reason why I bring this up is because Grace Lilly tries to jump in to TJ's defense, and she goes, look, I scissored a woman. I scissored a girl once. In this very serious moment, like talking about like what like queer baiting and like emotional trauma for it, and like what was said privately, what's starting rumors, what's just venting to your friends and everything. She's like, hey, I scissored a girl once, guys. Doesn't make me gay.
Yeah, that whole thing too, because that turns out that Joe and TJ made up during the season, but then Joe ditched him again once he saw all the footage, because he saw how TJ was talking behind his back and he didn't like that. And then TJ starts crying and pulling this victim shit again. I'm sorry, but you're in the wrong. You're just in the wrong, period. I mean, I get a lot of the stuff, and we had the discussion during the season about the plot line of like, well, it's not really right for Joe to like lead somebody on and then kind of hook up, and then the other person's supposed to be silent and this and that. But TJ literally was going around to everybody being like, Joe's gay, Joe's gay, Joe's gay, trying to kind of ruin his reputation. And we never got to the part of the conversation of like, can we get to a time where being gay doesn't ruin someone's reputation? That would be nice. The South. Like, we didn't get to that part of the conversation, but TJ just starts this shit where he's confronted with stuff, what he did wrong, and he starts crying, and he's the biggest victim because he's been queer baited. Well, stop fucking hooking up with straight guys then. Like, at some point you have to like take some kind of responsibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think at this reunion, TJ was just like, he was just not winning it for me.
He had a tough reunion. I don't know. I did feel bad for him, because I do think he's like profoundly, scrambled by like whatever his gay journey has been. Like he's everything that we talked about with TJ tonight, it's all wrapped up in this, and like self-loathing and who knows what. And I think it's like a very murky thing. I think, it's not right to say, hey, don't hook up with Joe because he's gay. But I also think he's allowed to tell his friends, like, I think that Joe may have had feelings for me. So it's a complicated situation. And I just feel bad because I see him just like tangled up in his own bullshit right now. But I also feel bad because it's like, I thought you guys settled this during the season. Like, why did, like, I don't know. I don't think it's cool that Joe Bradley got mad all over again, because I'm like, what was discussed. Like, you getting mad all over again.
He doesn't know what was discussed behind his back and what TJ was saying and how he was discussing it with everybody else. He only knows the conversation he had with TJ. And I mean, when when they were going through that scene, I thought that was such a good scene in the bar. And like, I related a lot to that scene because I've gone through that same period that TJ has. I've had those same loves and stuff that I really didn't understand. Because they were like quote unquote straight, and they turned out just to be guys experimenting and stuff. Like, I get that. And I think if TJ had just come to the reunion and been like, I fucked up, I shouldn't have done it, you're right, me going to those people and saying stuff was wrong, but I didn't understand it was wrong, because to me it was just like a hookup, and I'm allowed to talk about a hookup. Like, I didn't understand it was going to affect your dating life or whatever in Charleston, or follow you around because we live in a fucking homophobic place and this and that. I think if he took more responsibility or accountability, then I wouldn't have been pissed, but he didn't. He just was like, well, it's because I've been traumatized by men. It's like, fuck off. Like, at some point, you have to take some responsibility, you know? And then you spent the whole season lying against someone who's your best friend, your other best friend, who's Will. Like, that guy is just like, that's terrible. Like, especially after that. No.
Yeah.
No.
And then you have, but then there was on the other side, you have Michaels, who, the poor guy, he's sobbing there in the clubhouse talking about his mom. He thought that the show was going to make his mom, I think, realize what his pain is that he carries. And he says his mom hasn't even reached out once. And if anything, like, his mom has been like, why are people telling me that you're talking about being gay on TV? And so, but he did say his family members, like his aunts and like his siblings, have been open, and they're gonna meet Preston and everything. But I felt so bad for Michaels, because he is really, like, he clearly is like yearning to reconnect with his mother, and his mom is I'm not going to say she's a piece of shit, because
she's a piece of shit. I'll say, fuck that lady. Fuck that troll.
Because I'm like, I will say fuck that lady, though. Like, that's your son right there. How do you not reach out? Like, when you see your child crying on TV and just wanting his mother's love, and you're just not going to talk to him? Like, really, lady, go to Shut Up Mountain.
Yeah, fuck that lady. Fuck you, lady. Yeah, some people are just shit people, you know? But she was lucky enough to have a non-shit son, so that's good, because he's very nice. Yeah. I mean, on Michael's behalf, I'm like, oh God, please, Preston, don't break his heart, because I just have a feeling. I have a bad feeling about Preston. And I don't know why, because he seems so sweet. He's done nothing but be very sweet on the show. So I don't know why, but I don't know. But I love Michael's.
I know Michael's is so wonderful. Michael's is a great find. He's a great breakout star for them. But yeah, so it was a fun reunion, and I hope this show continues to thrive, because it's given us 3 wonderful seasons of content.
Yeah, so far so good show. Love this show, and hopefully it started to break out a little bit. You know, it seems like more people are watching it and stuff this year. So
yeah, I think so.
Let's see. Hope we get some more. But it's been a super fun show. It's been a super fun season of Southern Charm. So thanks, show.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks everyone for listening. And we will catch you on the next Crappens episode. Bye, everyone. Bye. Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster. It's Always Automatic with Ashley Auto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp. Catherine DiBernardo has our Hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt. Dana C. Dana Do.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey. You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones. I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Hava Nagila Weber.
We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Mannock's door. She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks, it's Melissa Cox. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell, it's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. Let's share with Sharon Eldridge. The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors. She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD. She's got a leg up, it's Beth Ani.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen, it's Queen Laifah.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony, Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
She gets an A, it's Kelly B.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley. We're Ride or Die for Lisa Ryder Barron. She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy. Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Couture. We love you guys.